Thank you, Hugo, and a very good morning to everybody. Uh, for us, this is the first time we are doing a conference on a scale such as this, in a hall which is 100,000 square feet as opposed to 10,000, 25,000 square feet conference rooms in five-star hotels. This is also the first time we are doing something on this scale with exhibitors much larger in terms of numbers and in terms of variety than what we've had in the past. This also marks for us a very, very important milestone. A milestone because this year we complete 20 years of the formation of the Retailers Association of India, RAI. And a big applause to the team at RAI, as well as all of you all who are the retailers who made RAI what it is today. We also like to take this opportunity to thank Reliance Retail, who has been our principal sponsor. There are several more sponsors. Our principal sponsor, as well as the force which has always stood behind RAI in terms of ensuring that they put funds to the dreams that RAI has. So thank you very much again, Ashwin and others from Reliance Retail, for the support that you have provided over the years. When you look at the retail industry in India, we live currently in very, very interesting times. We live in times because we have deciding, depending on which side of the bed Mr. Donald Trump has got up, there is uncertainty of different kinds every day. The latest being, of course, the $5 million golden visa. At the world level, we can't really figure out whether we are stable, unstable, or we are getting to be unstable, because there is war and peace in the two breaths being spoken about Russia and Ukraine. Similarly, there is truce and war between Israel and Gaza and the surrounding areas. And as of now, other than the fact that we've been affected by a few illegal immigrants who've been sent back to India, India by and large has remained insulated. We also hear threats of retaliatory tariffs, so we don't really know what that translates to in terms of both imports and our ability to export. We certainly know that bourbon whiskey has become cheaper after Prime Minister Modi's visit to the United States. So there are several interesting factors which are happening. But as far as we are concerned, and the fact that we are in the Indian market, what we do realize is that we've been relatively stable. We've had a good government come in the year 2024. It's relatively stable. Several states have gone to the polls, and we have seen some decisive mandates. A few are going during the course of this year. Last year, the monsoon season was good, despite the fact that we had a very hot summer. The monsoon season was good. So luckily, because of that, both the Rabi and the Kharif crop output should certainly be good. Unfortunately, on the manufacturing side, we've dimmed a bit in terms of the GDP growth, and that is something which is showing up in terms of the overall GDP growth, which is expected to be closer to 7%, coming down to be closer to about 6%. But in terms of retail consumption, I can say that we've had a very middling year so far. Good performance for certain months, then average performance for a few months, a wedding season which was largely towards the second half of the financial year, but still hasn't translated as yet into significant consumption. Certain categories like apparel seeing some pangs of growth, certain polarization happening in the apparel space between value and premium. In the electronic space, we are certainly seeing that a lot of it is led by the launch of new products, especially in the mobile phone category. Technology seems to be coming up But what we know as retailers is that our responsibility is to be able to stimulate retail consumption. Our finance minister in the budget this year certainly gave us some bonus in terms of consumption. Many of us might not qualify in the under 12 lakhs, but many of our customers qualify in the under 12 lakhs income segment. And when you think of a country like India, where the average per capita income is about 1.75 lakhs, and we have a family size of 4, which means roughly an average family income is about 7 lakhs. Then when you have no income tax below 12 lakhs, it actually puts in some amount of money in the hands of various families. We also have a very polarized country in the sense that we have UP and Bihar becoming as large as the United States. We have Germany being as large as Telangana and Andhra put together. So we have huge swathes of population. We have significant differences between the north and the south, the west and the east in terms of income, in terms of literacy, and also in terms of accessibility. So all this we are familiar with as retailers. We understand that we don't serve one market, we serve several markets, and there is often a requirement for us to be able to adopt and adapt whatever we are doing to the different markets that we are working with. We also have seen last year a fair number of retail companies testing the public markets, going in for IPOs, and we are very happy that a lot of them have had excellent response to the initial public offer. So there are good things happening in the retail space. India is still relatively young when you think of the retail market because we've still not gotten to the level of maturity that is there in the United States. We still have growth available for the taking, though it's getting a little more difficult over the years. Whereas in the case of Europe and in the US, growth is literally in single digits. It's normally 0.5%, 1%, and they're very happy if they can get 1% LFL, which is very different from what we have in India. So we must rest on the fact that we have a young population, a growing income population, and the fact that we are looking to see more people actually come into this space and more activity happening in the retail segment. The retail segment itself hasn't really remained, let's say, stable. We've had several things affecting us or changing the way retail is done in this country. Suddenly, in the last 2 years, we've seen a phenomenon called quick commerce. We have seen how UPI has changed the way we're able to transact online. We have looked at the way that payment systems and also as far as retailers are concerned, finance systems for retailers where they have securitized their receivables and they're able to manage their inventory much better has allowed them to be able to access more finance than what has happened in the past. Various forms of technology, whether it's the front end in terms of store operations, whether it's with customers, or whether it is integration between suppliers and retailers, different kinds of technology have emerged over the last 3 to 4 years, which has made life a lot faster, simpler, and more efficient. So we look forward now with a lot of interest in the course of this year to see how things go. And certainly at this point of time, 20 years of RLS, 20 years of RAI, it gives us confidence that we are the face of the retail industry in India, and all of you all are our strong partners in this magnificent movement called the RAI. So thank you very much. Welcome once again to the RLS 2025.